Nimwizi.
Kojo.
Today's word is nibbling.
Nibbling, as in taking small bites out of something?
No, I mean nibbling with one B. So N-I-B-L-I-N-G. It is the gender-neutral term for a nephew or a niece.
Oh, as in, if Dennis was my brother, I'd never be able to count my nibbling.
Based on a true story. And that's exactly how you say it right. Based on a true story. Alright, let's do the news review. It's brought to you by Interplus. Wherever you are, they make sure water reaches you, even in space. And First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. First Atlantic Bank has introduced a set of mobile banking applications and a USSD shortcode, *442# for banking transactions. So now you can download the First Atlantic Ghana mobile app from the Google Play Store or iOS Store. Alternatively, you can just dial *442# for all of your mobile money transactions, instant funds transfers. You can also pay bills. You can purchase airtime or data from Airtel, MTN, Glo, or Vodafone, and so much more. Welcome to the Purple Experience on mobile. It's safe, it's secure, and it's very simple to use. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Now, Betway brings you so much more entertainment with Betway Casino. From online slots to your favorite table games, you'll experience hours of endless fun on the Beltway Casino. To get started, visit beltway.com.gh. Tap on the Casino tab, choose from more than 120 exciting casino games. Choose the amount you want to wager and tap on the spin icon. Remember, you must be over the age of 18 to participate. Betway. Bet your way. Betway, for the love of the game. Now, Enimwa, you have a fan.
I do.
You have a big fan.
Ooh.
This is the person who discovered me in radio, who gave me my first job in radio. His name is Nana Utujando. And he's
Cupid Valentino.
Very good. See, he's known.
Cupid Valentino.
He's known. Yeah. He's a very big name in the industry.
Wow.
And he loves your voice. He just can't stop listening and praising you. So he's a very big fan.
Anyone is blushing.
Yes. And he of course, we're hoping he, Let's move on.
We're hoping he what?
Continue.
Continues to, be a big fan.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you, sir.
Sir.
Nano
to sir.
Nano to Jando.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, Nano to Jando.
Okay, let's find some news on the front page of the Business Finder, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ADB earmarks 500 million Ghana cedis to revive poultry industry. It will create 3,000 jobs. COVID-19, beauticians, barbers, others cry out. Reward workers on basis of input. That's it for the Business Finder. I'm trying hard not to make any comments on Winston's barbering skills. Okay.
You can comment. I mean, I'm doing very well. Everybody has commended me for that. But
and your ability to cut sakura.
At least I trim my beard. So, First Peter chapter 2 verse 16. As servants of God, you should live as free people, but do not use this freedom to cover up your wrongdoing. That is the Chronicle.
And the banner headline.
It is the spear of the nation. So let's get to the banner headline. Now, submission of alleged fake names for 50% salary bonus. Roman father threatens whistleblowers after BNI invades St. Teresa's hospital. So that's the Chronicle. Guta accuses aviation minister of usurping powers of Ministry of Health. 51% of COVID-19 cases in Ashanti are women, according to the Ghana Health Service. And we have forgiving Justice Hunyanga. That's according to the minority in Parliament. Back page, Liverpool's return to training feels like first day at school, according to manager Jurgen Klopp. And Manuel Neuer extends Bayern deal until 2023. Wow. And Emmanuel Clotte awarded cost of 5,000 as court dismisses case against Asante Kotoko.
All right. Well, on the back page of the Daily Graphic, AMA pulls down structures at Jamestown Beach for Fishing Harbour project. So apparently, hundreds of structures at the Jamestown Beach enclave have been pulled down so that the projects can begin. Woman jailed 8 years for stealing 2 children. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, that story again, ADB invests 500 million Ghana cedis in poultry sector, aims to boost local chicken production and cut imports. And we've been talking about this for a while, hoping to follow the footsteps of Nigeria, for example, who actually don't import chicken and just go with the locally. So that's that sector that's thriving.
Too, right?
Yes, yeah. So good stuff there. Parliament approves for Supreme Court says they exhibited competence. So congratulations once again. Results of
no question about that, really.
Yeah, they did well. It goes without saying. Results of MP's COVID-19 tests won't be made public. That's according to the medical director.
Of course, I mean, nobody's result has been made public. So,
apart from when the president tested negative.
Negative, and his household, yes. For the president, we need to know because all of us voted. And so once we elect
MPs there, we didn't vote.
MPs they were voted for by their constituents.
So you didn't vote for this president doesn't mean that
when a president is elected by a majority of Ghanaians, it means Ghanaians have voted for the president.
Right.
You understand?
And when an MP is elected,
his constituents, he can now go and tell his constituents.
He can go. Of course, you always have the choice of telling people.
Yeah, so the president told us.
It's not like it is an offense to tell people your status. In fact, sometimes it's the best thing you can do.
I was actually going to say, in the fight against stigmatization, would it actually be good if some of these results were made public and then we see the recovery and we see the reintegration and then it gives us, an idea of the fact that it's actually not a big deal.
The MPs should decide whether to make it
on their own.
On their own. Nobody should force them to.
Absolutely
go out there. The New Crusading Guide says, government social interventions impressive. Chiefs of Komeshime to Akufo-Addo. And COVID-19 fight, according to the New Crusading Guide, CSIR recommends what Opinto Herbal, and NDC will not withdraw from 2020 elections, according to Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, their general secretary.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the running mate, man. That's just taking too long. Anyway, on the front page of the Daily Guide, #1 names Payboy to clear debts. COVID-19 recoveries hit 1,773. Actually, the updated number is 1,898. So recoveries really just pulling in really quickly over the past few days. Parliament confirmed Supreme Court nominees Obinim arrested. Sweats over 100,000 Ghana cedi bail. And it's instructive to note that this morning Kennedy Ejepong is trending #1 on Twitter. That's
as expected.
What's he done now?
I'm sure he might have been on the seat, talking about a lot of things. You know what he does,
right? It's Thursday, so he was on yesterday.
Yes. So the Ghanaian Times says we'll ease COVID-19 restrictions if pandemic-associated death reduce. That's according to President Akufo-Addo. You know how lots of people have been calling on the president to lift the ban on public gatherings and the closure of schools and others. He says, well, that only would be done if the death associated with COVID-19 reduces. Bishop Obinim still in police custody over failure to meet bail bond, and President others observed 25th anniversary of Kumi Preku demonstration. Where were you in 1995 anymore for that particular demonstration?
I think I was in JSS or something.
Okay. I was in Ho, and in Ho they said Makumavo demonstration. Kumi Preku. Anyway, still on the front page, Parliament approves all 4 Supreme Court nominees, and back page, gossip honors 59 farmers in Upper East Region, an assembly to construct 142 stores at Ho Market.
Okay, the very last paper in front of me is a Daily Statesman. 30 health workers infected with coronavirus in Ashanti region. CID probes Mills' death. Mahama Abronye fight to open. Abronye fight to open can of worms. Do forgive. And Winston did say Akufo-Addo this morning.
Akufo-Addo, but why is it equalizing?
No, I'm not.
No, but anymore, is it not Akufo-Addo?
But Winston, this morning's message of motivation, by Kojo told us that no matter where you start from, you can go to the height. So I may have started not being able to pronounce these words properly, but we will definitely get there. As Professor Emeritus Youngson has shown us with his life.
No, but Enimwa actually pronounced it, the English way, stress timed instead of syllable timed. Ghanaian languages are syllable timed, so there's no stress and no stress.
Professor Emeritus Winston Ambo. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say congratulations to my dad, by the way. I haven't had the opportunity to congratulate him on that achievement. Big, big. Okay, let's do the online review. Or do you have one more paper?
No, I'm done actually.
Okay, the online review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. So Goyle continues to care about everything that happens to you, and so when you come to their forecourt, they are begging you, please cover your mouth with tissue when you cough, or dispose of the tissue immediately. Wash your hands with soap and running water, which have all been provided for you at the service stations, especially when you handle money. You can also use an alcohol-based sanitizer if you're not in a position to wash your hands. Maintain a minimum distance of 1.5 meters between you and other customers and or attendants. And please, let's all observe these simple protocols together to defeat the COVID-19 virus. If you exhibit any symptoms, do not head to the hospital immediately. Please call the hotlines and ask for help on COVID-19 hotlines, which are 055-2222-004 or 055-2222-005. I like saying 22. Right, so please keep your motor insurance policy active, especially if you're with Enterprise Insurance, or just get a new motor insurance policy with Enterprise Insurance, because it comes with some really great benefits during this COVID-19 period. So you get a free life insurance cover for COVID-19 cases, you get free cash benefits for COVID-19 hospitalization cases, and 50% waiver on all motor claim deductibles. Now, this offer is for both individual and corporate customers. It's also valid from now until the 16th of July, 2020. So get in on it. This is their commitment to you at Enterprise. And remember, at Enterprise Insurance, they care. So stay safe and stay alive. Enterprise Insurance, your advantage. Terms and conditions apply. Right, here's what's on myjoyonline.com. My confidence in judiciary's impartiality in NDC issues eroding. That's the minority leader Haruna Idrisu saying that. And as Kofi Abochi appointed Dean of UPSA Faculty of Law, congratulations to Kofi Abochi on that. APSUs continue to rise high. He was the Dean of the School of Law at GIMPA for some time. He's now at UPSA. Congratulations to Kofi Abochi of Axis Global. Okay, Okrapiman Queen mother allegedly rejects 62 sheep from government to settle a dispute. 62 sheep. Which budget do we tap on to spend money on 62 sheep to appease a queen mother in a dispute? I wonder. Maybe if you look at our budget, there's always other expenditures. Or maybe the chieftaincy ministry has a budget.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, all right. CityNewsroom.com has find ways of living with COVID-19 Akufo-Addo to Ghanaians, and Education Ministry deletes sections of pre-tertiary educational bill. Okay, so we settle for some stories?
Yes, but before we get into the stories, Kojo, I would like us to start from education. You just talked about, deletion of some parts of the pre-tertiary bill. We're told that has to do with the decentralization of education. But, there's been lots of conversation about the reopening of schools. Now, lots of people have been urging the president on to actually lift the ban on public gatherings so that schools could reopen, particularly for those in their final years in junior high schools and senior high schools who are expected to have started for their WASI or BECE. And so, former rector of GIMPA now, Professor Emeritus at Ashesi University, Professor Stephen Ade, on our front last night, made a very unique comment. He believes that we should be, gradually reopening schools in phases so that students can get in there.
Very soon, it has to be very soon, we must have a phased return to school. I believe that the most important one is to deal with the final years. All the rest, even you can manage it till the end of the year. But I think the final years, we should have a contingency for them immediately. Initially, the president asked the examination students to stay, and later on they were asked to go home. I believe this is where the double track must be put in place for all final years, because they were left with about 8 weeks to the examination. I believe that we can let them go to school in a double track. Let half of them go to the school, occupying the whole school. Half of them can practice all the social distancing and start them to finish their year.
Yeah.
Yes, so he says that we should be practicing double track, but just for final year students.
Right.
Not, the whole school, but just for final year students. And he cites, so for instance, if your school has a population of 1,000 final year students, so 500 would go. After 8 weeks, another would go. Then they go and sit for the exams. He believes that we can't wait. Very soon would have to be reopening. As for BEC, he thinks that BEC is not really of a necessity at this point. Secondary schools, and tertiary institutions are better.
Yeah. I'm just looking at a meme that my friend sent to me, and it's a picture of a classroom. I'd say the kids are about maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, and these are the things they're saying. One of them is shouting, "Miss, he's wearing my mask." The other one, "Miss, he's coughing on me." The other one, "Miss, he says my mask is cheap." And I can imagine the chaos of having our 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds going back to school, fighting, taking off each other's masks. Can I try your mask? Can I don't know how we can control. I know how we can control children in the school environment, because you see how hands-on they are with each other. I mean, how do you... that's just my biggest fear, I think, as a parent. Anytime we talk about reopening of schools, that's where my mind goes to. But obviously the final year students, SSS, would be, teenagers, so 16, 17, 18, and may be able to exhibit much more control.
I'll be honest with you, my concern runs through the entirety of our education system. Yes, it will clearly be a lot more chaotic for the younger kids, but I'm worried about them all. Because look, even adults, how many pictures should I show you of adults wearing masks wrong? Okay, they're leaving their noses uncovered, and then that horrifying video. Yes, there is a man sitting in front of a shop where there's a Veronica bucket, and he's been asked to fold up tissue for those who are going to use the Veronica bucket to wipe their hands afterwards. Right now, this man is picking these tissues from a pile, and before he picks each one, he licks his finger and then picks up the tissue. So you are going to come along and wash your hands with soap and think, my yazi. Then you pick up one of his saliva flavored tissues and wipe your hands with it. Hey,
that's actually the challenge. But talking about our educational system, Kojo, the truth also, and Professor Adair makes the point that when it comes to JHS or primary schools, the basic school, what can actually happen is that you could actually start them from January next year and to September. The academic calendar wouldn't be lost that much. But for the final year students in the senior high schools, they should be considered. The challenge we have on our hands is that, globally it's being admitted now that COVID-19 would be with us for a long time. And so we need to start thinking about how to deal with it. Can we say, for instance, that schools should remain closed anymore for, the next year or two? Cambridge University now says the 2020-2021 academic year will be done online. Nobody's going to come to class. It will be done online.
Yeah, but they can afford to.
Yes, we can't afford to because we don't have connectivity in all the rural areas. There's also the challenge that, some parents might not want to send the awards to school. Professor Adair believes that as the middle class and upper class who will contemplate that and have the awards go through, the internet-based education, those within the rural areas don't have access to it, even though as a country we have the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication, GIFEC, which is mandated to be liaising with other state institutions and even the private sector to be achieving this, sadly.
I mean, look, as for connectivity, there are still some parts of this country where it's not possible. But even if we were to solve that problem, a child whose school doesn't even have desks, you expect him to have a computer at home to connect to this, internet that you've brought to his village? So these are some of the things that we really have to, bear in mind so that we leave no child behind. I don't know how it's going to be done. These are the difficulties of being a developing country. Okay, some of the problems you can all you can do is stare at them, in despair. I don't know how we're going to solve this problem.
Fantastic point, but these are also the difficulties of not planning properly. because as a country we had toyed with a one laptop per child policy. What happened to it? So we've talked about all the wonderful things we wanted to do. Okay, there are instances where you realize, oh, we've established a community information center, we're providing laptops, we're providing desktops for the communities to use and all of that. And then what happens to them after a year? So there are lots of issues, and it's all because for one reason or the other, we have failed to plan very well as a country. Even this developmental module we have put in place, which says we are decentralizing, we're going to allow the districts to actually take care of the management of their localities. We have failed in doing so. Anybody we put in there to ensure that things are done and properly done, that person goes there and thinks that his loyalty is to the president, his loyalty is to his party, and he doesn't care about Ghanaians. Just right now, teachers started fighting the decentralization of education. We're told that aspect has been removed. But that was one fantastic idea that would have transformed our educational sector. The district director appoints you or recruits you. You are accountable to him. Yes, we make provisions for central government to pay you because our pay system is centralized now. But he would monitor you. If you're not performing, he would make sure that you leave. There are people who don't go to teach, or they do presenteeism. You know what they do? They go to school and not teach. Just to mark a register and not teach. And yet they are there because they have to come to Accra. Even if you want to sack him, you'd have to write to Accra before Accra says we're terminating his appointment.
And these are all massive drains on our funding of education, which could have been redirected into solving some of these problems that we're staring at in the face and unable to deal with. We could have. Can you imagine the number of schools that we could have actually properly equipped? The number of children that we could have given, these all important tools to, so that wherever they are, they can keep learning.
And whilst you're talking about all of this and the one laptop and all of that, I'm also thinking about the fact that, okay, so you go into a community, give all of them laptops, and their lights are always off, so they can't charge their laptops anyway. So I'm sitting here with so much despair, because it's like when you fix one problem, there's another one staring at you. And we still kind of, or maybe hopefully we need to get to the place where people in government and power will just kind of say, look, let's just do what needs to be done once and for all. Let's do it and be done with it. You know what I mean?
That was the attitude with which free SHS was introduced. Let's just do it. It doesn't matter that we haven't quite figured out how to fund it. Let's just do it because it's so important. Okay, and that's what the president pushed, and it happened. And look, even his political opponents admit that this is a good thing. They may question the way it was done and so forth, but there is that recognition that simply the force of will with which it was brought into existence was good. And maybe that is how we ought to start addressing some of our problems. And when it comes to the point of funding them, then we start cutting away some of the waste, some of the things that we do that are unnecessary. Then we start reprioritizing. Then we start deciding that, okay, maybe it's not so important to build a cathedral, but it's far more important to put that money into funding this initiative of ensuring electricity is available in every village. Or maybe it's not so important to go and buy these 4x4s. It's more important to rather spend that money buying computers for children. So if we start thinking that way, perhaps we might chip away at some of these problems. Anyway, thanks for that. And it's time now for us to do the BBC News. It's brought to us every day by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, and Shell Club, get more. And when we come back, there's more for us to discuss. Don't forget, today is Thursday. We're expecting to make a stop at the Ministry of Information for a briefing later. So all of that is to come on the show. Stay with us right now, though. The BBC follows these all-important messages.